Hello everyone and welcome to our Hawaii vlog. My partner Colin and I went to the big island of Hawaii for about 5 days and we are just so excited to share this adventure with you. As soon as we landed, we quickly picked up our rental car and immediately started adventuring and found this little hole-in-the-wall National Historical Park, which talked about the indigenous Hawaiian people and their traditions and customs while situated within this beautiful volcanic rock. And so we stayed there for a little bit before heading out. For lunch, Colin has his absolute favorite harbor of his, and so we spent some time looking at turtles and all other things swimming in the bay. He was very excited. And so then after exploring for just a little bit, we immediately got lunch and ate some fried calamari, which Colin swears is the absolute best that he has ever had. And then after lunch, we went into the city of Kailua Kona and found this really cute little farmer's market and walked around downtown just a little bit. It's a really cute area. You can walk along the pier, and so we spent some time taking photos and just enjoying the ocean. We walked to a little pier and another historical site in the Kailua Kona area before doing a little bit more exploring while we waited to check in. But eventually we were finally able to check in and watched a free luau from our room, room 619. If you guys ever stay at the Royal Kona Resort, it was great. Day 2 started rather early and we walked over from our resort. You can get to this really cute little hole-in-the-wall acai bowl place, which is called Acai Hawaii. We must have had about 15 of these while we were there. They were so good and the location was super cute. And so, oh my gosh, it was our absolute favorite. It tasted so good. And so after breakfast, we set out on a full day of exploring the island. Thankfully, Colin drove the entire trip, which was phenomenal. So it's officially day 2 and we got some breakfast and now we are leaving the Kailua Kona area and driving towards Hilo because there are some really beautiful waterfall hikes and national parks that we're gonna go look at. We're driving right now to Akaka Falls, which is aka Falls, which is also called Alaska Falls, ironically enough. But we are heading over there. There's also Rainbow Falls that we're gonna check out, and a few other things like around the Hilo area, not necessarily the city itself, but we're really excited because it's Colin and I's like 4-year dating anniversary, and so this is our idea of a romantic, peaceful getaway, is just doing a ton of adventuring and hiking, and so we're really excited to show you the footage. Enjoy. Once we arrived at the Akaka Falls lookout, I noted immediately that there were signs for no drones, which was the case for all state and national parks, but we eventually made our way down to the hike. So we are now at Akaka Falls, and it was about $20 for the two of us for an entry fee that includes parking. They did have parking for us, which is nice, but there's a lot of construction, so keep that in mind when you come visit. So we just finished the Akaka Falls. There are so many people here. It's currently 11:47. We just finished, but we would definitely recommend getting here earlier, right? Colin says yes. And also make sure to pack water, dress lightly because it's really humid and hot, and so people are dying. But it's a really accessible hike. There were people of all ages there. All kind of like fitness levels and stuff. It was less than a mile hike probably. It was really beautiful. We enjoyed it. Recommend it. After Akaka Falls, we went to the Rainbow Falls Lookout, which is another beautiful waterfall located in the Hilo area. There's a few different ways that you can see it, but they're very accessible, located on concrete. But this whole area was just so beautiful. I could not stop looking around and enjoying all of the greenery, all of the foliage. And I mean, look at this. It looks like something out of Jurassic Park. There's also some different ways to see it. Like you can hike up this little teeny tiny staircase and look at the waterfall from above, which was really cool. And after our 2 little hikes, we went to Coconut Island, which was the cutest, most random thing that we found in Hilo. But a lot of people were swimming here, which was really cool. We saw some turtles and marine life. There were also people fishing, and it was right next to the Queen's Gardens, which were absolutely gorgeous. It was a very peaceful and serene location, and all the architecture was so beautiful. The nature was absolutely gorgeous. We saw people picnicking. It was very cute. The paths were a little inaccessible, but made it part of the adventure. But we absolutely loved this park. It was so beautiful. And before you know it, we were back on the road again, looking for some beach access areas, even though we didn't pack our swimsuits naturally, but we wanted to see kind of what was in the area. And these lagoon beach areas were so beautiful. They were definitely packed. We could barely find a place to park. It was obviously a very popular place to be on a weekday, but people were swimming around, floating in floaties. It was beautiful. So we're getting ready to go do the night manta ray snorkeling, and I am so nervous. Number one, I get really motion sick, and so taking a Dramamine, hopefully it'll all go well. But it's also getting in the ocean at nighttime, and these manta rays are huge. They're gigantic, and so I'm very nervous about that, but we're about to head out, so that should be
fun.
Should be good.
Cool.
Cross your fingers. All right, let's go check it out. And after a quick little drive, we were at the harbor, got our debriefing from the guides, and made our way onto the boat just as the sun was setting. I was starting to get really nervous at this point, but we got onto the boat, were able to get all of our gear on. They gave us a wetsuit top and snorkeling gear, and we drove out, and it was time to jump in the water. We had these light boards that attracted phytoplankton to feed the manta rays, and it was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, look at this. It was so incredible. You completely forgot about everything. Little side tip, put your hair up. Look at this mess. But it was unbelievable. And after about an hour, it was time to get back in the boat and head home. Okay, so it's officially day 3, sort of, and we are going to a green sand beach, which is going to take longer than we had initially budgeted and or anticipated, and so we'll see how that goes. But then we have plans to do a black sand beach right after it, and then maybe Volcano National Park, which is the game plan. But we're driving over now. It's about a little under a 2-hour drive to the beach from Kailua Kona, so we're buckling in for another long day of driving. Thanks to Colin. This drive to the south part of the island was so bizarre. As we looked around and kept driving south, we were so confused. It looked like we were in the middle of nowhere. Also, I had no idea that the big island of Hawaii looked like Kansas or Colorado, but we eventually found the parking lot and started the hike down to Green Sand Beach. Unfortunately, we realized pretty early that it was not going to be the most enjoyable walk. It was unbelievably windy and the sun was beating down on us. There were some parts by the coast that were so beautiful and we got a nice breeze, but for the most part, it was this sandy wasteland. I mean, look at this wind that we had. We were coated in dirt. Sometimes the pathways were really narrow and people were driving down to it. You could actually pay to commute, but we were stubborn and decided not to. But we were not having the best time. It was kind of miserable, to be completely honest. It looked like you were walking through nowhere, but eventually we got to this incredible green sand beach. And so you can see here at the bottom, the sand is a little bit greener. It was such a beautiful, beautiful location. After just a little bit of time at the beach, we walked back and got so dirty. I mean, look at my arm, and it took about an hour. So we're officially back from the hike. I'm exhausted, covered in sand, not a happy lady. But Colin, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty cool. It was hot. My eyes hurt because of the wind, but it was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, so it was a lot of sand, a lot of wind. I feel like I have a thick layer of sand all over me. It's not really a swimmable beach either. There were some people swimming, but it was interesting. It was interesting. But I'm very happy that we are going to lunch where I can wash off some of the dirt because I just feel like I'm suffocating in dirt. Okay, so we just got lunch at a really cute place that I'll share, but we are feeling recharged after the Green Sand Beach, and so now we're heading over to the Black Sand Beach near the area by Volcano National Park, and so we're going to check out that now. The Black Sand Beach was so beautiful, but make sure if you're visiting, do not take the sand. You will get cursed, I'm convinced. Provided it was getting pretty late, we didn't stay at the Black Sand Beach very long and ran to the Volcanoes National Park. It was so beautiful, and thankfully it was still light enough to enjoy the steam vents, walk around on a few little hikes, of course enjoy the windy weather that seemed to be overtaking Hawaii that day, and look at all of the overlooks that it had to offer. This was such a cool sight, and I wish that we could have spent more time hiking around it. If you're going to visit Volcano National Park, I highly recommend looking at the lava tunnels. They were so cool, and do a couple of the hikes around them. It was so beautiful. Okay, so it's officially day 4 here in Hawaii. We had such a long day yesterday, hiking everywhere. I think we put in like 20,000 steps, which was absolutely bananas. But today we're taking a beach day finally, and so we're still driving about 40 minutes north up the coast from Kailua Kona, and just having a swim day and relaxing, and then maybe a teeny tiny little hike at the end. So we're really excited to show you just how beautiful this island is. Now, we were in for a rude awakening on this hike. Look at the road here, and our tiny little rental car could not make it or clear these rocks, and so we had to walk a little bit further, which was no big deal. But also, there were no drones allowed here either, naturally, of course, as it was a state park, but I don't even know why I brought it in the first place. To find the photos that are taken of Kiholo Beach, that area was actually quite a long walk. We were unpleasantly surprised at how much of a commute it was on foot to get there, but it was really beautiful, just a little bit inaccessible with my chacos, as you can see me walking over volcanic rock here. And the beach itself was extremely rocky, and so there wasn't really a place to rest or anything, and so we quickly found ourselves walking all the way back to the car. Of course, instead of going home, we drove up to Polulu Valley, which had actually a nice little hike, which wasn't very long, but it was relatively rigorous. And naturally, look here, no drones, of course. But this overlook was so beautiful. The trail itself was a little bit difficult just because it was really muddy, but otherwise it was a beautiful hike down. You basically walk down some switchbacks along the side of the mountain to get to the beach down there. And so it honestly wasn't too bad. You can see me here in my hiking boots, which I would recommend. But the valley, once you get to the bottom, was so beautiful. And so you have the coast and the valley that you can look at here. You're allowed to walk along the beach, but keep in mind that it is private property, so be respectful. And then we called it a night and went home. Now, I'm sure this is going to come as a big surprise, but we got an acai bowl and then headed to the Kona Cat Cafe, which I have never been to a cat cafe before, and so I was so excited. There were so many cats, about 20 in total, and all different ages. There were some kittens there were some older kitties, and they were so playful and cute. They loved my video recorder, and multiple of them came up and wanted to check it out, which was just so cute. But we had way too much fun at the Kona Cat Cafe. I would highly recommend it. Okay, so it's a new day here in Hawaii. We spent the morning doing the cat cafe, the Kona Cat Cafe, which was the cutest thing ever, the best way to start our day. We were like trying to convince ourselves not to bring one home. But now we are headed for hopefully an actual beach day, unlike yesterday when we had anticipated at Kiholo Bay having a beach day and it just did not work out. So we're driving about 30-ish minutes outside of Kailua Kona and actually having a beach day. Fingers crossed, it actually ends up being one. So let's go check it out. So we may have underestimated the length of a walk to this beach, but we both have sun hats on, got some hydration, so it should be good. We got warned by someone that it's too hot to be and too far to be walking to the beach, but we are stubbornly doing it anyways because our little car could not make it down this road. So we're walking to the beach, basically hiking to it. It's all good. Now, this road was seriously no joke. We saw so many cars getting stuck. While some parts were paved, most of it wasn't, so keep that in mind when visiting this beach. Even once you got down to the parking lot, it was just a little bit more of a walk to get to the beach itself, but it was so beautiful, and there were white sand beaches where you can enjoy and walk out into the water. We actually swam, which was a miracle, but it wasn't long before I was on the beach reading my book while Colin took my GoPro and was exploring and found a sea turtle. Before long, the weather picked up and we decided to leave. So we didn't last very long. It started raining, obviously, about an hour into us staying at the beach, but it's a really pretty area, and it's very accessible beach access with actual sand and not rocks, which was great. We saw a turtle, which was really cool, and now we are walking back to the car, which is probably going to take about 45 minutes, but it's nice and cool now and raining, so overall I would recommend. This is a really awesome beach. Let me tell you, we got so rained out on this walk back, but we're still in good spirits. It was kind of fun. So completely soaked to the bones, we decided to call it a night and go back to the hotel and get some rest. So it's officially our last day here in Hawaii. Our flight takes off later this evening, so we're still gonna have a full day to kind of try to adventure, but the weather is not great. It's really rainy again today, and so we'll see what happens. But So we decided to go to Mountain Thunder Kona Coffee, which was about 30-ish minutes outside of Kailua, Kona. And this was such a cute area. And even though it was raining, we were still able to make the most of it and enjoy some free coffee samples and get a free tour as well. So we are now at a coffee plantation, which is really cool. There was a free like 30-minute tour, like talking through how they make the coffee and everything, which was really interesting. Colin loved it. And then there's, for $10, you can take like a little nature walk tour that we're doing now, which is pretty cute. You get to see some trees and some really cool lava tubes. So I would recommend it. Colin, recommend?
Mm-hmm. Mountain Thunder.
Mountain Thunder Coffee Plantation. It's pretty cool, but it's rainy. We got to enjoy the cloud forest as we left too, which was so beautiful. All right, so we went to the coffee farm. We ran errands, went to Costco and Target, trying to kill some time today before our flight, but it is finally time to drop off our rental car and fly back home to Oregon. So thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we had a wonderful time in Hawaii. Mahalo. Thank you.